You tell her to get away from me. She's crazy.
Revolution, you've got nothing to lose. Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution. You've got nothing to lose.
Except for your life, your job, your family, your respect. It says the man who lit himself on fire outside of Trump's trial in NYC has been identified as Max Azzarello. My name is Max Azzarello, and I am an investigative researcher who has set himself on fire outside of Trump's trial in Manhattan. His manifesto read, "This extreme act of protest is to draw attention to an urgent and important discovery. We are victims of a totalitarian con, and our own government, along with many of their allies, is about to hit us with an apocalyptic fascist world coup. We are victims of totalitarian con, and our own government, along with many of their allies, is about to hit us with an apocalyptic fascist coup." These claims sound like fantastical conspiracy theory, but they are not. They are proof of conspiracy. If you investigate this mountain of research, you will prove them too. If you learn a great deal about Ponzi schemes, you will discover that our life is a lie. If you follow this story in the links below, you will discover the rotten truth of post-truth America. You will learn the scariest and stupidest story in world history, and you will realize that we are all in a desperate state of emergency that requires your attention. To my friends and family, witnesses, and first responders, I deeply apologize for inflicting this pain upon you, but I assure you it is a drop in the bucket compared to what our government intends to inflict. Because these words are true, this is an act of revolution. So yeah, they were trying to paint this guy as a crazy guy, he sounds very coherent in this. And what was crazy about this is when I saw this story pop up and everybody was covering it, none of them ever said what was in his manifesto or the flyers he released, what they said, or, why he lit himself on fire. Some of the stuff made it seem like it was related to Trump or whatever, and it took me a little while to get to this much of it to figure out what the hell, and no wonder they were trying to keep it under, because this guy was saying, that Trump and Biden are together, they're working together to bring about this situation that we are in. And this is the kind of stuff I've been saying on this show for the longest time. Two wings, same bird, good cop, bad cop is what we have going on. This illusion of choice between the Republicans and the Democrats, and this doesn't follow the narrative. They want you to pick a side. They want you to say that the other side is the ones that are the devil and they should step down and they should not be elected or whatever. The world's going to come to an end or whatever. The other side is the problem. If I'm a Republican, it's the Democrats. If I'm a Democrat, it's the Republicans. If I'm a conservative, it's the liberals. If I'm a liberal, it's the conservatives. The other side is the problem. And as long as you're saying something like that, you're following the narrative and they can cover your stuff or whatever, because it souls this partisan politics and this separation thing that you have going on, this divide and conquer thing, and it keeps us at each other's throats instead of looking at the realities of the situations that we're all facing as Americans. So yeah, no wonder why they didn't want to share his manifesto. And then you had the people just saying that this guy is crazy, he's a conspiracy theorist or whatever, he's not mentally sound or whatever. And I'm sure this guy took great pains in making this sound coherent and not crazy, And I think he succeeded at that, but it doesn't matter, right? Because the narrative is going to be the narrative, and they're going to paint him as crazy regardless because he set himself on fire. I wouldn't condone anybody setting himself on fire. I don't agree with that. I don't know how much of it's going to really accomplish, but as far as drawing attention to certain things, hopefully getting people to go down certain investigative routes and coming to certain conclusions, at the very least realizing that these the corrupt government is the problem. The lobbyists, corporate government, like all intertwined, is the problem and is what we need to focus on instead of our neighbor as the enemy. And we need to educate ourselves and realize what the hell is actually happening and stop pointing fingers at the other side when they both suck. Like Tim Black says, both parties suck, Johnson. Once you get there, now you can start taking in some truth. If you can't get to that point, then they got you. You're stuck. So first comment, it says he's a nut job who needs mental help. Easily to, what was the quote that Dave Chappelle said? He said they always call these people crazy. He said that's dismissive. These people aren't always crazy. Like he was talking about the people in Hollywood, and he's like, there's a environment that's really hard or whatever, but these people aren't crazy. And it simplifies things. Like everybody loves things to be black and white. It's like a child. It's like God and the devil, good and evil, left and right. That's simple. I could put the world in these boxes and it makes things simple for me. Everything either fits in one box or the other, and I can go along with my life and feel like I understand things, But to really dig into stuff, then you realize there's a gray area. There's good inside of bad and bad inside of good. That's what the yin and the yang symbol is trying to get people to understand. You have the black dot inside of the white side, and then you have the white dot inside of the black side to hopefully get you to understand that, it's not simple. And if you really want to understand, then you have to dig through the intricacies and the gray areas of things. Nobody has time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Comment that says, this is horrible. At least he didn't harm anyone else physically. Another one that says, wow. It says, everyone keeps saying this man is mentally ill, but he's 100% right. And we are all sadly going to learn the hard way. Another one that says, people are going to try and paint Max Azzarello as either a Trump or Biden supporter. Truth is, he was neither. Took this photo where you can see the signs Max was carrying. He was against both candidates. So this sign right here, and these are stuff that the media did not cover. So the sign says Trump is with Biden and they're about to fascist coup us. Trump is with Biden and they're about to fascist coup us. Doesn't fit the narrative. Makes people's brain explode. So if it doesn't make sense to you, then he's crazy. It says, within minutes of setting himself on fire, we have full access to Max Azzarello's manifesto. As for Audrey Hale, the transgender shooter's manifesto, we're still not allowed to see that. It says, we got his manifesto real quick, but still nothing on the trans shooter manifesto. Why are you throwing like this topic into this situation? Like that doesn't put the conversation forward. They're like, that doesn't move the conversation. That's a distraction. Let me see. There was some in this clip. Hold on. Where is the rest of it? There was something in here. Where was it? Where did it go?
Start a fucking revolution. Start a fucking revolution.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be successful at starting a revolution. It has happened in the past where somebody lighting himself on fire started a revolution, but the person that did it didn't intend necessarily to start a revolution. They were just in desperation and people felt it. So I think that when you are intending to ignite a revolution, it doesn't work. You know, it's when your intentions are just desperation, you know, that's when, because revolutions start out of desperation. No one wants to fight a revolution. Everybody just wants to go about their day and take care of their kids and make sure their life is good or whatever, like have something to eat, and just like they don't want drama, like they don't want problems, you know, they want simple life. You know, everybody wants that. You know, nobody wants to get up in the morning and start a revolution. Nobody wants that. So, you know, but when you push people to that point where it's like the piece of their life, they can't enjoy it. They can't eat their food without taking deep breaths. Like, what was that from? It was from a song. It's like I take deep breaths every time I chew. Like, and it's like when they get to that point, they can't sleep at night, you know. They can't focus on anything. Their mental always goes back to this same huge glaring issue that's it's like a thorn in their eye. When it gets to that point, it's like I'd rather die than continue to live this way. So I have to do something.
Hey, this is a shout out to the whole.
My name is Soph.